Welcome to today's comprehensive briefing on the Russian offensive campaign assessment as of February 4, 2025. Over the past months, the conflict in Ukraine has evolved significantly, with Russian forces implementing new strategies and making notable territorial gains. In this session, we'll explore the latest developments on the battlefield, analyze the shifting tactics employed by Russian troops, and discuss the broader geopolitical implications of these actions. If you find this analysis insightful, please subscribe to our channel for regular updates on global security and defense matters. Section 1. Strategic advances in eastern Ukraine. Russian forces have intensified their operations in eastern Ukraine, focusing on capturing key logistical hubs to disrupt Ukrainian supply lines. A primary target in this renewed offensive is the city of Pokrovsk, a vital road and rail center in the Donetsk region. According to a Reuters report from August 27, 2024, Pokrovsk's strategic significance stems from its role as a transportation nexus, making it a critical point for both military logistics and civilian infrastructure. The city's capture would not only hinder Ukrainian resupply efforts, but also provide Russian forces with a strategic position to launch further offensives in the east, thereby exerting increased pressure on Kyiv. The ongoing conflict has led to significant damage in Pokrovsk, with critical infrastructure compromised and the local population facing severe hardships. Ukrainian forces have fortified their defenses around the city, and recent leadership changes aim to bolster their response to the Russian advance. Section 2. Tactical shifts and encirclement strategies. In recent months, Russian military command has demonstrated a shift in tactics, moving from direct urban assaults to encirclement strategies aimed at isolating and overwhelming Ukrainian positions. The Institute for the Study of War, ISW, reported on January 31, 2025, that Russian forces achieved significant tactical successes through envelopments in the Vuhledar and Velika Novosilka directions during the fall of 2024 and early winter of 2024-2025. These operations, conducted under the Eastern Grouping of Forces, forced Ukrainian troops to withdraw from Vuhledar in October 2024, allowing Russian forces to seize the settlement. Leveraging this gain, Russian units advanced further west, interdicting Ukrainian egress routes and eventually capturing Velika Novosilka in January 2025. This approach indicates a deliberate Russian strategy to encircle key Ukrainian positions, thereby compelling withdrawals and capturing territory without engaging in protracted urban combat. Section 3. Humanitarian impact and civilian casualties. The conflict's toll on civilians has been devastating, with reports of targeted attacks causing widespread fear and suffering. In Kherson, Russian drone operations have been particularly egregious. As reported by The Times on February 4, 2025, Russian drones have been targeting civilians in what locals describe as a drone safari. These attacks commonly occur before dawn and focus on ambulances, police, doctors, firemen, and commuters. The drone operators record their attacks and post videos on Russian Telegram channels, portraying the city as a modern warfare test bed. Drones used in these attacks include DJI Mavic models and FPV kamikaze drones, dropping grenades and bombs on civilians. The ongoing campaign has resulted in numerous casualties, including elderly civilians and medical personnel, causing widespread terror in Kherson. Local authorities have implemented defensive measures, like jamming systems and early warning alarms, but struggles persist due to the evolving drone strategies. Section 4. International political dynamics. The international political landscape surrounding the conflict has seen significant developments. On February 4, 2025, The Guardian reported that President Donald Trump proposed that Ukraine provide the U.S. with rare earth metals in exchange for aid. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky suggested this as part of a plan to end the ongoing war with Russia. Trump emphasized that Ukraine has valuable resources and the U.S. is seeking compensation for its substantial financial support. German Chancellor Olaf Scholz criticized this proposal, suggesting that such resources should be used for Ukraine's reconstruction. These developments occur amidst a brief pause and subsequent resumption of U.S. weapon shipments to Ukraine. Furthermore, there have been violent incidents against Ukrainian draft officers and continued Russian executions of captured Ukrainian soldiers, raising humanitarian concerns. Internationally, Moldova reported a drone incursion from Ukrainian airspace, highlighting regional tensions. Additionally, an 18-year-old British volunteer was killed in a Russian drone strike on his first mission. The IAEA chief plans to visit Kyiv to inspect a critical power substation essential for the operation of Ukraine's nuclear power plants. Section 5. Ukrainian military reforms and challenges. In response to the evolving battlefield dynamics, Ukraine is implementing significant military reforms to enhance its defensive capabilities. The Institute for the Study of War, ISW, reported on February 3, 2025, that Ukraine's Commander-in-Chief General Oleksandr Syrskyi stated that Ukraine has started implementing organizational reforms to transition the Ukrainian armed forces into a core structure. This restructuring aims to improve command coordination and operational effectiveness, addressing challenges posed by Russian advances. The move reflects Ukraine's recognition of the need for a more flexible and responsive military structure to counter the sophisticated tactics employed by Russian forces. Section 6. Casualty reports and resource strains. The prolonged conflict has resulted in significant casualties and resource strains for both sides. As of February 4, 2025, Russian military personnel losses have reached approximately 842,930 individuals, with an additional 1,270 soldiers reported killed or wounded in the past day alone. These staggering numbers underscore the intense and ongoing nature of the conflict. The high casualty rates have strained Russia's military resources, leading to challenges in adequately equipping and sustaining its forces on the front lines. Despite these losses, Russian leadership appears committed to continuing its aggressive military strategy into 2025. Analysts predict that if the current rate of casualties persists, Russian losses could reach 1 million within the next 6 months, further exacerbating the strain on military resources and potentially impacting domestic support for the war effort. Section 7. Ukrainian counteroffensives and technological innovations. In response to Russian advances, Ukrainian forces have launched several counteroffensives, employing innovative tactics and leveraging technological advancements to regain lost territory and disrupt Russian operations. Notably, Ukraine has intensified its use of unmanned aerial vehicles, UAVs, for reconnaissance and combat missions. On the night of February 3, 2025, Ukrainian forces reportedly conducted drone strikes against Russian oil and gas infrastructure in Volgograd and Astrakhan oblasts. These strikes aim to disrupt Russian supply chains and diminish their operational capabilities. The successful implementation of drone warfare has provided Ukrainian forces with a tactical advantage, allowing for precise targeting while minimizing risk to personnel. Additionally, Ukraine has been integrating advanced Western military technologies into its arsenal, enhancing its air defense systems and precision strike capabilities. These technological innovations have not only bolstered Ukraine's defensive posture, but have also enabled more effective offensive operations against Russian forces. Section 8. Economic sanctions and their impact on Russia. The international community has imposed a series of economic sanctions on Russia in response to its continued aggression in Ukraine. These sanctions target key sectors of the Russian economy, including finance, energy, and defense industries. The cumulative effect of these measures has been significant, leading to a contraction in Russia's GDP and a decrease in foreign investment. The energy sector, a cornerstone of Russia's economy, has been particularly affected, with restrictions on technology transfers and limitations on exports impacting production capabilities. Additionally, the freezing of assets and restrictions on Russian financial institutions have constrained the country's ability to conduct international transactions, leading to a depreciation of the ruble and increased inflation. These economic challenges have the potential to erode public support for the government's military endeavors, as the domestic population grapples with rising costs and economic uncertainty. Section 9. Humanitarian crisis and displacement. The ongoing conflict has precipitated a severe humanitarian crisis, with millions of civilians affected by the hostilities. According to recent reports, the war has displaced a significant portion of Ukraine's population, leading to widespread displacement and suffering. The destruction of infrastructure, including homes, schools, and hospitals, has left many without access to essential services. Humanitarian organizations are working tirelessly to provide aid, but the scale of the crisis presents substantial challenges. The onset of winter has exacerbated the situation, with displaced individuals facing harsh weather conditions without adequate shelter or heating. Efforts to establish humanitarian corridors have been hindered by ongoing fighting, complicating the delivery of aid to those in need. The international community continues to call for ceasefires to facilitate humanitarian assistance, but a sustainable resolution remains elusive amidst the protracted conflict. Section 10. Prospects for peace and international mediation. As the conflict endures, international actors are intensifying efforts to mediate a peaceful resolution. Recent diplomatic initiatives have focused on bringing both parties to the negotiating table. Notably, discussions have been held regarding the establishment of a special tribunal to hold Russian leadership accountable for the invasion, aiming to address issues of justice and accountability. However, significant obstacles remain, including mutual distrust and divergent objectives. Ukraine maintains that any peace agreement must include strong security guarantees to prevent future aggression, while Russia has shown reluctance to concede to terms that would be perceived as a defeat. The role of external powers, particularly the United States and European Union, is pivotal in facilitating dialogue and providing the necessary assurances to both parties. The path to peace is fraught with challenges, but sustained diplomatic engagement offers the most viable avenue for ending the hostilities and addressing the underlying issues that have fueled the conflict. This concludes our detailed assessment of the Russian offensive campaign as of February 4, 2025. The situation remains dynamic, with developments on multiple fronts influencing the trajectory of the conflict. We will continue to monitor and provide updates as events unfold. For more in-depth analyses and real-time information, please subscribe to our channel and stay tuned for future briefings.